A few months back, I installed this Renogy 2000 watt pure sine inverter in my travel trailer, and I have a 200 watt Renogy solar system with the MPPT controller. I installed this in my trailer so that I can get by without running my generator so much, and it's proven to be working very well. I'm able to run my coffee pot and some other items, which I'll show you later, with no problem. And so I'm really happy. I don't have to run my generator so much. I've gone out for 3 or 4 days and not had to run my generator whatsoever. So it's kind of nice. And also I'm able to control this, just turn the switch on and off inside my trailer. When I turn the switch on, it powers all my outlets in the trailer because I have a Go Power automatic transfer switch, which I installed. So I wish I had made the video earlier with step-by-step instructions, but everything is installed right now. So I'll kind of go through my steps and show you wiring schematic of how I did it, and show you the wires inside the trailer, and kind of give you some hints on what to do to wire this up. And if you look at the description, you'll see materials that I use for this, and then also a couple links which will take you to my solar installation and the battery installation that I did. So let's go inside and look at the schematic. So here's where I mounted my remote switch. My wires just made it to here. So here's the remote switch. I turn it on, the inverter beeps, and then the microwave just beeped just now. So I'm powered up. The outlet is powered up. Every outlet in this trailer is powered up right now, which makes it really nice to have this system with the transfer switch. I usually only have this on when I'm running any of the appliances or TV or computer, whatever, and I turn it off when it's not in use, because the inverter will draw a slight amount of power, not very much, when it's just sitting idle. So I just turn it off when I don't use it. But these are some of the things it runs. It'll run the coffee pot, mixer, toaster, microwave. The microwave, we don't run it very much, but it's nice when we want to heat something up or defrost something. It'll also run the computer if I want. Also, let's see, charge up our toothbrushes, our shaver, my shaver, and like I said, it'll run the TV. So all in all, it'll power out every outlet in this trailer, just like you have shore power. But it will not, and I won't run the air conditioner on it. It would kick out. It just wouldn't be worth it. So if I have to run the air conditioner, I'll just run a generator. And I don't find myself running the air conditioner very much. So that's about it. So here's kind of a schematic of what I've done. And I'm going to start with the inverter. So I have the inverter, and the wires, it's got a 2-aught wire, heavy cable, that goes from the battery to the inverter. And it doesn't show in here, but I'll show you outside on the trailer. It has a shut-off switch and fuse by the inverter. Then I ran from the inverter a 10-3 rubber coated wire. It's similar to an extension cord, but it's really heavy duty, to a transfer switch box. So I'm going to go out to the inverter and the batteries and show you what I've done. So we're in the front compartment of my trailer, and I'll show you a view of it, this compartment, in a minute. I have the inverter. Here are the 2-aught wires coming down, positive, negative. These are going to the batteries. 200 amp fuse and a shut-off switch. And then what I do is I just drill my holes the size of the wire through, and then I just put some good quality silicone caulking around there. Rather than doing just one big hole and then just foaming it or whatever, that's what I found is best to do this way. Then going over on this side is the 10-3 wire that will go into the transfer switch, and also the remote wire that goes to the switch that I turn the power on for the inverter. Goes up here. I have it clamped on here. Let me see if I can get around so you can see a little bit the back side here. So there's where it connects in for the remote switch, and there's an on-off switch there that I just leave on. And then I'm not sure if I can see it here where the wires come in. They come into this. They're hardwired in. Plus it has some plugs. So this in here, it's pretty tight. This inverter was bigger than I thought when it came, but that's fine by me. I left room here for it to breathe with the fans and everything. Renogy said to mount these horizontally, not vertically, so that the fans can breathe out the sides. They have little vents that need to open and close. And they said that also you don't want it up and down vertically so that dirt goes inside of them, falls inside. So my compartment before, let me back up, it ended right here. They just had a panel in there. So I removed it to give myself more room. And then I just took a block here with a piece of pipe. And then this is my storage water tank fill. So I just ran in here, gave me a lot of room. So now I'll take you around outside here and to my batteries. Here's a compartment where the inverter is. Swinging around here, in front of the trailer. We'll walk around here to the batteries. Here's the batteries in box. I have this box and this install in another video. So what I got is Costco interstate battery, the 6-volt golf cart batteries. There's 4 of them, and I installed 2-aught wire on everything here. I beefed up the wires. Since I have so many wires coming in here now, I had to do these studs to come in and hook all my wires to. But I ran my inverter wires directly to the batteries so that I have a good connection and not be losing any juice to the inverter. So I'll take you underneath now and show you what I did with the wires. So I'm under the trailer here. Here are my battery wires, the 2-aught wire that run up to the inverter through the floor, and then they go along here, strapped, and they go to my battery box and come in the bottom of the battery box. Then over here is a 10-3 wire, the AC wire, and then the gray wire is going to my remote. So they go down. The 10-3 wire goes along here, and the remote wire. So it goes along, and then the remote wire comes up in this area up there into the cabinet. But the 10-3 wire continues back and goes up under the floor behind the AC panel. I need to note here that the 2-aught battery cable going to the inverter is about 4.5–5 foot length. I bought a 10-foot length of each, the red and black, so that I could wire up the battery, jump the batteries, the 6-volt batteries. And then on the inverter, you shouldn't use more than 5 foot length, a 5 foot length for the 2-aught wire to the inverter. That's what they recommend. The inverter comes with, I think they're 2 4-gauge wires clamped together, and it's only like 2 or 3 feet long, which wasn't long enough for me, so I went with the 2-aught wire. After a lot of research, everybody recommended the 2-aught wire. Some people said you go 1-aught or 2-aught, and I went with the 2, which was plenty for me for what I was running. So make sure you don't go too far. You don't want to have the inverter far away. Keep your inverter as close as you can to the batteries. So here we are going back to the wiring diagram. The battery to the inverter is a 2-aught wire running along here, runs up here. Then the 10-3 wire runs out of the inverter to the top of the transfer switch. And then here is the grounding bar. All grounds go to this bar. And then some people mount the transfer switch by the inverter, but I found it was better to mount it near the AC panel. So I wouldn't be running the wire in so many directions. I'd have to run wire back and forth under the trailer, and it just made more sense to install the transfer switch towards the back of the trailer by the AC panel. You'll see why in a few minutes here. Now I'm going to take you to the charger converter, and it's a 12-2 wire, and it runs into where the transfer switch area is, into the transfer switch right in this area here. I had to purchase a fuse, a 15-amp fuse, because I'm eliminating the 15-amp breaker, and you'll see that in a few minutes, and install it inside this box here. And then I installed it a fuse holder, so you'll see that. And then let's see, I think I failed to mention that when I run with this inverter, I think I mentioned a couple things, but I also run I can run the TV, microwave, the computer, and I can charge my toothbrush and shaver with the inverter. So I can do quite a bit. My wife hasn't used a hair dryer with it, but I could probably do that, but I wouldn't run it too long because it draws a lot of power. Or I wouldn't run a floor heater too, because that draws quite a bit of power, and that would just drain my batteries down. So all in all, I think this explains it, and then I'll take you over to the panel area now. So before this charger, and they call it a converter also, was wired into a circuit breaker in my panel, which is like this, the one that says off, that used to say converter, right here. So it was wired into this 15 amp breaker. So what I did is I pulled the wire off here, and then the wires are just disconnected off there, and now they're wired up. Here's a converter charger. So now the wires just go directly from there to the transfer switch, as you can see right here. Now they wire into the transfer switch with a 12-2 wire. There's the neutral. This box does not come with a fuse, so I got a 15 amp fuse, and then I got the fuse holder, and I'll provide links to these in the description below. So, and then that's wired in pretty easy. Okay, so then now you don't need this 15 amp breaker anymore, so I leave it off because it's all going through the transfer switch. So the reason for this is when you are running just off your batteries, there's no reason to use your charger to charge your batteries, because it'd make no sense, because you'd just be making a big circle with your power. This transfer switch is great because when you're hooked into shore power, it automatically takes the shore power and switches this over automatically and says, okay, I'm using shore power. And then when you're unplugged from shore power, you can use your inverter, and everything switches automatically and powers up all your outlets. So it's real simple. It works simple. It looks complicated, but then it's simple. So let's see here. So those wires, like I said, go from the charger up to the transfer switch. And then I'm going to show you here where I come in with the 10-2 wire, the shore power into the AC panel. So the AC panel, it's the top breaker here, the 30 amp. So what you do here is this wire goes out. I'm just following my plans here. It goes to the transfer switch. So this is your AC panel, and you bring your wires from the AC panel, this 30 amps breaker, you come off of it into the bottom part of the transfer switch. Okay, and then your shore power just goes from your wire that comes from your plug outside to here. And remember, all the grounds go on here. Okay. So I've also, just so you know, this guy at Go Power, he's pretty knowledgeable, Bob Lane. There's a phone number. You can give him a call or email him if you have any questions. He's very helpful. Okay, so this, so you know too, this is a 30 amp transfer switch relay. Now I'll take you into the back of the where all the wires are. Okay, so here is my panel. I've removed it. This is under my refrigerator on this unit. This here, if I can show you without shaking it all over, that orange wire is coming in from my plug from the outside of the trailer. It's coming in, and then I brought it over to here. I put it in this junction box. This is my shore power, and then it's going in there, and then it's going out, and I have it going to my transfer switch, which I'll show you in a second where that is. I've labeled all my lines so that I know where they go. So now I'll take you over to the transfer switch. So I could have put the transfer switch probably in here somewhere, but I decided to put it here. My bathroom's close by, and I have a vanity, a cabinet here. So I've come over here. It's a tight spot. It's right here. I had to remove a door to get in here to work on it. So here's the transfer switch box by Go Power. Ran all my wires in through the side. Inside there's a fuse that I have that goes to the charge controller to 15 amp. I put that there so I can remember what it is. Let's see. Okay. And then what I did was, you can see the top wire. That's the 10-3 wire. So the black wire is from the inverter. Okay. And it goes in just like I said before, and like it showed in the diagram. Okay. Then I got a green and orange wire, which is, let's see, the green wire is a ground, and that goes directly out, and I have it attached to the frame so that I can have a direct ground. Then that's what they say to do. The orange wire is to my AC panel, and then I have here yellow and orange. So the orange is my shore power, and the yellow is to the charger controller. And it comes in and goes right in the box. So it's kind of hard to see where the wires all go here, but it shows in the diagram. Then there's my fuse setup right there. I stuck it in there. It's pretty tight, getting all the wires in here. So all in all, when I first got into this, it was I thought, boy, this is going to be hard, and I kept learning and learning and watching YouTube videos, and kind of compiled things I learned into my own situation here. So I felt that putting the transfer switch in this compartment was good, so if I had to get into it easily, I could. If I needed to get to the fuse, I could. And I just took some wood and made a nice frame in here with the plywood so that I'd be able to mount it directly in here. So I think I've covered it. I'll supply all the parts I used, or pretty much all of them, for you in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay, you also have to buy the clamps that go on the wires. It doesn't come with that. So let me go back here, and here's what it looks like. So all in all, I'm really happy with this, and I hope you give it a shot on yours. I think all the stuff that I bought was maybe, let's say, $500, which is quite a bit, but it's really nice to not run the generator. And with the solar, it's nice to have, because I'm not having to run the generator at all with the solar. So if you look for my other videos, you'll find the one on the solar panel install I did, and also the battery box and the battery install. So thanks for watching, everybody, and if you like this video, I hope you subscribe and hit the little bell so you can see future videos. Take care and happy camping.